Hey, what's up everybody? I hope you all are doing well. Today we will be talking about High School Musical, the series. I don't know if I had the pleasure or displeasure of watching the series, but we're gonna go ahead and get into that. So just to give a little bit of background, I wouldn't call myself a High School Musical super fan per se, but I really enjoyed the trilogy that was High School Musical. My first album, I guess, that I ever had was the High School Musical 3 soundtrack on I think it was an iPod Shuffle. So it's not super far back, but it was a little bit ago. So kind of like going with the memories of High School Musical and walking into the series, it's kind of a mistake because it is not at all like High School Musical. I was kind of hoping it would, I don't know, give me some kind of sense like, oh yeah, this is totally, I could see how this is derived from High School Musical. But that is not the case. It is similar to like more high school teen dramas, and they actually added confessionals into the show, which was a little bit, I was blown aback the first couple that I saw. I'm like, is this really what's happening? Like, it was almost, I guess the best way I can describe it is if you ever seen Ned's Declassified, I'm pretty sure he has moments where he like talks directly to the camera and he's like, okay, this is what's going on. Yeah. And that was, very odd considering I was going into the mindset of, okay, this is like High School Musical. If Zac Efron ever looked into the camera and was talking directly to me, you bet your bottom I would have remembered that. I would have treasured that moment, but that is not what happened in any of the 3 movies. So already, if you're gonna watch it, go into the mindset of this is not High School Musical. This is about a high school that just so happens to be doing a musical, which is, by the way, High School Musical. So that was another part that was jarring to me, was that High School Musical was no longer like a universe where these characters existed and they did their thing or whatever. It became like an actual movie. Like when they were referring to High School Musical and Zac Efron and Troy, Vanessa, Gabriella, I just named, like, I did all the wrong things. Troy and Gabriella, which were played by Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens. They referred to them as like, oh yeah, like I want to be the Troy of the play, because that Troy was the main character of the movie. And to go that route of it, instead of being like, we're in the world where it's like, oh man, Troy is my dad or something, or Troy is my brother or my cousin, that was also super jarring to me. Our show is centered around the main character who's, well, I guess it's not really centered around him, but he's one of the main characters. His name is Ricky Bowen, and Ricky is basically Troy throughout this whole show, except he's, like, more realistic, immature, high school kid Troy. Which I think he honestly was the best character in the show. I think he was probably one of the best actors in the show. So I actually enjoyed most of the time that he, was on the screen. And then we have Nini, who plays, who is basically Gabriella in the show. And I also think she did pretty well. And then we have the rest of the cast whose names that I will literally have to read through this list to remember who they are. But, oh yeah, EJ. EJ is Nini's boyfriend after Nini broke up with Ricky. And then Ricky, throughout the show, is trying to win Nini back, but he goes through all this pretty predictable problems and situations that eventually work out so that he gets Nini back. That's not really a spoiler, it's pretty predictable. If you watch the show yourself, you can see from day one, oh, this is totally what's going to happen. But, yeah, I wish it wasn't as predictable. I don't think High School Musical was really that predictable, but I was also like probably 9 or 10 when I watched the first one, so maybe it was. I don't know. I was lost in Zac Efron's eyes, so I have no idea. But yeah, it was a very predictable show. It had its moments where I was a little shocked that something had happened. but for the most part, you're not going to be too surprised by the things that you see on the show. I think what was more enjoyable than like the actual plot itself was the little nods it had to like Broadway and the different actors and stuff. They had what's her face, Miss Jen, who is the teacher, who is the what is she? She's not the drama teacher, the music teacher, I guess. Who is like helping them run this play. She's played by Kate Reinders, which I am surprised it took me so long to realize that she plays Glinda in Wicked until like they literally say like, oh, I'm more of a Glinda person, which I was like, oh my god, I felt so ashamed. I was sitting in my room probably at like 3 a.m. just like shaking my head, but she is in it. They also brought back the lady who is the star of Hairspray, which now I have to look up her name so I don't. But then they also brought back Nikki Blonsky, who what was she? She was in the original High School Musical movie. She was the big girl who was popping and locking and doing all that stuff. She also was in Hairspray. She did an excellent job in both. They probably could have given her a bigger role in High School Musical, to be honest, because she is just fun to watch on the screen. But yeah, she came in for an episode, did her pop and lock, and then she was out. That was it. And then they also brought back Ryan, the actor who plays Ryan. He actually got a song in the show, so that was more than what Tracy got. Tracy, who played by Nikki. And that was interesting. Ryan, I don't know, he looks way different than he did in the trilogy, which is expected because, you know, people get older, but I don't know, I just was not prepared, I guess. It kind of, because you see Zac Efron a lot on like different movies and stuff, so you can kind of see how he's grown. I've seen Vanessa Hudgens every so often, but then to see somebody who like has been frozen in time for me in my head onto the screen, that was weird. That was very weird. But he was in it. They also did a couple nods to different Disney movies, which go figure there. But I enjoyed it. I like the little hidden Easter eggs for people who can like pick it up. But I also have to talk about Dara Renee plays Courtney. I have no idea who Dara Renee is until I saw the show. And I thought that she was one of the best singers on the show. And they actually like said something similar to that when she was like singing in front of like her whole class. And so I wish I could have heard more of her, because she was, if everybody else is like down here, she was like up here. Like she pushed the bar pretty high. I'm like, what? Like what? Why did you not get a main part? What the frick? And then she also had some weird character situations going on there, but you know, she wasn't a main character, so you can't really like focus too much on that. And then the other thing that kind of gets me messed up is the fact that even though this show is called High School Musical, the series, or the musical, the series, I don't know, it's some convoluted title that doesn't, High School Musical, the series. They don't really like break out into song a lot, which was something I was expecting, because you know, High School Musical is like, oh man, I'm really sad. But they had like maybe 1 or 2 musical numbers an episode, which were worked in like where it was like, okay, it feels appropriate that they should be singing a song because they're like practicing the play, or they're like at a karaoke spot or something. But I was really looking for those just break out into song moments there. I think that would have like helped people like me who were like really into High School Musical kind of feel more like, okay, I can see the more High School Musical elements to this. And they could have like almost made it similar to Glee by like singing modern songs. I know you're probably gonna have to pay money, and Disney's like, oh no, thank you. But that would have been, I don't know, I think that would have been more enjoyable to me. And then the way that the series ended, it seems like they're gonna try and push for a season 2, which I am still debating in my head whether or not I want to endure that. I am curious to see where the story is going to go from where it left off, but I don't know if I'm that curious, if you know what I'm saying. Overall, if I had to rate it out of 10, I would give it like I would give it maybe like a 6.3, not quite a 6.5, because that's kind of pushing more up to 7, because it wasn't a waste of time. I did enjoy some moments of it, but for the most part, I think it was pretty mid. It's not something that I'm gonna recommend to my friends unless they're like really like these kind of like high school drama like shows, which for me, I feel like I've mostly grown out of like watching that kind of thing, so maybe this is just not geared towards my audience, which I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably more geared towards like people who are in high school now and probably middle school as well. But yeah, those are my thoughts on High School Musical, the series. I hope they have more of who plays Ricky? Joshua Bassett. I hope they have more of Joshua Bassett in there. I thought that he was the most entertaining character in there. And I hope they give my girl Renee some more screen time and more singing time. She was the best singer on the show, or at least one of the best. I put her top 3. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about the series if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, tell me why you would watch it or not watch it. I'm curious to see the reasoning why, because I definitely had a debate in my head before I decided to hit play. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys have a nice evening, morning, or night. Whatever it is, enjoy it. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.